It's time for another edition of Shelton City Council Looking Ahead with City Manager Mark Ziegler. And Mark, business meeting Tuesday night. Some pretty cool things on the agenda. You have promotions for your police department. I think that's neat. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's great. It's something that these are new positions, actually, or positions we haven't had filled, the corporal positions that Chief Kostad and Captain Patton have taken upon themselves in that department to fill those positions, and it actually gives us the ability to have some layers of leadership, particularly in the night shift, and that's what we're talking about. We have a fairly young, or at least new, police department, and to be able to establish that leadership and that hierarchy is really important within law enforcement. So we did some testing of individuals that applied for the corporal positions, and 2 will be appointed on Tuesday, and so they'll assume those positions and take on that leadership role. I'm really happy and thrilled that we have that opportunity to provide that role for a couple officers that have been serving in patrol, and as an officer in charge position, just another step up the ladder and building and hopefully some succession planning like we've had with the chief and the captain and their appointments late last year.
The other thing that's on the agenda is Officer of the Year. You can't release that information, but that's something people should be aware is coming up if they want to attend the meeting on Tuesday night.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, annual appointment voted amongst their peers within the police department. So I think it's really important that we recognize our staff and the contributions they make to our community.
Back to the council, you're going to set some committee assignments, extra boards for your council members. These are outside commitments that the city has. Is that right?
Yeah, essentially. Some of them require participation by their bylaws or how they're established. There's the Peninsula Regional Transportation Planning Organization. There's the MACECOM board. There's the EDC board. So those actually require participation from our council. And then there's other committees like the opioid stakeholders group, the public safety task force, and then internally we have a budget committee, and then we have a homeless response committee that are subcommittees of the council. So it's the opportunity for the council, now with 3 new members, to consider their commitments and opportunities to serve on these committees and boards and represent the city to outside internal and external entities, and work for the best interests of our community and provide the information back to the council as well on what's happening through these boards and committees. So we'll be working through that process on Tuesday as well.
On the action agenda, you have a resolution relating to safe routes to schools. You're also going to talk about that in awarding a contract. You're just trying to get ahead of things. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, essentially. So we have our 3-touch rule. So the contract has to come before the council in a briefing at one meeting. And obviously we just meet the first and third Tuesdays of each month for regular meetings. And so action would take place the first week of February. We want to get ahead of that because the bids are opening soon, and we want to make sure that we are able to move these projects forward in a timely manner. So we had some redesign work that was presented to the council at the last meeting. That'll be approved next week, and then they'll see the contract for the first time after prior to the bids being open. Then we'll have bids open. We'll bring it back to them for final approval on February 6th, so we can get the contractors a notice to proceed and get the projects done around Evergreen School and up at Shelton High School. That's a crossing across Spring Road from the Huff and Puff Trail to the campus. And then we've got some work on Franklin at 7th and 9th Street, the intersections, doing some crosswalks, some bulb outs so folks can get closer out, to traffic, but not into traffic safely and cross the streets. Same in 9th Street, adding some sidewalks and crossings, and then some rapid flashers. So those lights that you see say down on 6th and Railroad, where you press the button, the yellow lights flash, and it notifies vehicle traffic. There's pedestrians in the crosswalk.
At the high school, I was looking at the drawings that are in the packet. You're creating an island of safety.
Yeah. It's called an island of refuge, if you will.
Okay.
So typically that's done in wider or not necessarily intersections, but right of ways. So if there's more than a couple lanes, maybe the traffic is moving fairly fast or things like that. So it gives the opportunity for one person to get across, a lane of traffic. There's a raised island actually there, or an island that's signified by candlesticks or something like that. That is in between the lanes of traffic where somebody can get into safely in case a vehicle doesn't see them, or maybe they're a slower walker, and they've got some mobility issues too. So it takes them a little longer to get across the road. So it gives them the ability to kind of be safe in that center island of refuge, and then they can move across the other lane of traffic when it's safe.
Hence the name Safe Routes to Schools.
Correct. Yeah, and this is a grant program through the state of Washington. About $770,000 in grant funds. The city does have a contribution of about $200,000 that comes out of our transportation benefit district funds, and this is the second Safe Routes to School project we've instituted, and we plan on applying for more as the state has announced additional funding here in the future for that source. So we're going to continue try and take advantage of that to the best of our ability.
Just a couple of the items on the agenda for Tuesday night. Business meeting in the courtroom at the Civic Center. 6 o'clock is the start time. You can attend in person. You can get on the Zoom, or you can watch it on the city's YouTube channel. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.